Hello and welcome to another episode of Monday Markets on a Tuesday this week due to the bank holiday yesterday. And as you can see, Bitcoin trading above 30k. So yeah, huge move over the weekend and we are right at a big psychological round number. However, before we get onto the charts, let's take a look at the important stuff you need to know about this week, news and events. So taking a look at the US economic calendar. Tomorrow we have CPI data coming out, which is obviously very important, tracking inflation. If we've got a lower inflation lower inflation numbers than last month, then that could be a pretty bullish sign and give the Fed an excuse to either pause or lower rates. However, if inflation comes in hot, then there could be an argument for another raising of rates. So important data coming out there. And then we also have the minutes of the last FOMC meeting. So basically detailing who thinks what in terms of board members thinking whether we should be going higher with rates, pausing, cutting, etc. So yeah, important data coming out tomorrow. It could be a very, very volatile day. I would advise caution, tightening stops, taking profits, all that sort of stuff on trades. I wouldn't be touching leverage tomorrow, but that is just that's just me. But yeah, as I say, could be very volatile. And then on Friday, we've got the start of earnings season all over again. It feels like just a week or so ago since we were last going through this. But yeah, earnings seasons again, starting with the banks. And normally that wouldn't be that important. However, we have had a lot of banking events the last few weeks, banks becoming insolvent, needing to be bailed out, etc. So that could be quite important. See how they get on as well. You've got to remember that this earnings season coming out is Q1, so everything that happened post-Christmas, the Q4 earnings from last year could have been a little bit inflated with all the extra Christmas spending. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what comes out of these earnings. But as I say, as you can see, screenshot from Bloomberg, major US banks, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo and Citigroup on Friday. And then as the weeks go on, we get tech companies and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it could be an interesting few weeks. And then lastly, we also have the Ethereum Shanghai upgrade. And the main feature of this is that all the staked ETH now becomes unstakeable, or redeemable, I should say. And it's estimated that roughly 15% of the total ETH supply is currently staked, and that becomes, as I say, redeemable. So potentially selling pressure coming to the market, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. There's no way of knowing, but it is an important update to the Ethereum network. So if we get into the charts then, BTC, as I say, above 30k for now. We've still got 29.3k as a monthly level of resistance. We obviously need a monthly close above that before we can think about flipping that to support. And it's a very, very strong level. As you can see, it was the bottom of the summer of 21 crash, had these 3 wicks into it before we finally rallied. So very important level. And we also had a bounce in May 22 as well. So important level there. If we go to the weekly, not really much to add. My next area of interest, should we continue pushing up, is this level here at 31.7. That is the start of this leg of the move down in June 2022. And yeah, as I say, my next area of interest, if we go to the daily, we had a little push on Sunday, come up to that resistance of 28.5. Looked like just another test and rejection as we've had the past few weeks, but we had that rally on Monday and then into today as well, looking very strong. And also, if we take a look left, the other reason 31.7 is an area of interest for me. It's the start of this leg of the move down here in June as well. So that would be a daily level for me as well. So it ties in quite nicely. Nice bit of confluence there. So that's my next area. Should we continue to push up and not just sort of roll over? Now, if we take a look at Ethereum, so Ethereum, as you can see, struggling to keep up, looks potentially double toppy on the daily. In fact, let's go from higher time frame to lower time frame first. So weekly still looking good. We cleared 1783 and pushing up to that 2k level. However, as I say, if we go back down to the daily, potentially a bit of a double top here, and it's being outperformed by BTC. So We were talking on Friday about the relationship between ETH and BTC not being the one we want to see if we wanted to see alt season, and now you're seeing why. So on Friday we were talking about ETH not being stronger than BTC, just being less weak, and now you can see that the tables have turned and we haven't got those confirmations of alt season. The other thing we were looking at was ETH BTC. We were looking at a weekly close to potentially happen last week over this 0.066 level, which would have been a deviation and a good sign that ETH and alts were going to rally hard against Bitcoin. However, it got rejected. We didn't get that confirmation, and as you see, looking very ugly on this time frame, even on the daily. So we had the rally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then that rally has been completely wiped out, and we are back at these sort of consolidation range lows as well. So not looking great. The other thing we warned about as well was the total 2. We needed a weekly close above this monthly level of 600 billion. So we've talked about not only is it a monthly level of resistance that we've not managed to close above for a long time, but even a weekly close would be significant. We've not had a weekly close above it since August of 2022. So you need a weekly close ideally first, just to show that the strength is there, and then you can start building upon that and try and get a monthly close. But yeah, as I say, not even a weekly close last week, rejected. So as I say, ETH and alts really struggling. And if we go and take a look at the ETH BTC monthly, not looking great at all. So it looks like we could finally come down to that 0.053, potentially that monthly range low, or at least if we go to the daily, come down to that 0.06 daily level, which I've highlighted before. Very strong level of support and resistance, which was where I thought we were going before we had this little rally, but it looks like a big old fake out. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. If we do get down to either that daily level or potentially that 0.053 monthly range low, I think that's an awesome opportunity for ETH and alts. And then finally, the other thing we warned about on Friday with the relationship between ETH and BTC was the Bitcoin dominance. So it was that monthly resistance. On the weekly, it looked like it was finally sort of turning around. It looked like it was finally rolling over. However, it just became a wick. And then on the daily, I sort of said, until we actually get a close below this low that we had here on the 21st of March, then there's every chance that we could hold up. And that's exactly what's happened, as you can see. Didn't break down, had a bounce, and now it's rallying very strongly indeed. So, yeah, it's definitely a BTC-led market at the moment. If we just take I've got a selection of alts here, both in their USD pairs and their BTC pairs. As you can see, alts looking okay in their USD pairs, although still not keeping up with Bitcoin. As you can see, normally when Bitcoin goes on a run, you can see ETH and alts in their USD pairs almost performing, having double the performance. So, if BTC is up like 2%, you expect ETH and alts to be up to 4-5%, etc. However, as you can see, that's not really happening. If we flick through these on the higher time frames, they all look quite similar. So ADA, as you can see, held this weekly level mid-range, which was the 5th of December weekly level that we've highlighted before. Held that, went on a rally. It's now up to its range highs. Near actually at its range lows, but again, same level of support. The week of the 5th of December, that's what started the rally. Looks like it could start trending and make a run for the range high, as long as obviously this weekly range low holds. DOT, again, 5th of December weekly level held, started the rally. Not looking like it's trending as well as other alts, but may well go up for another test of this monthly range high around $7. AVAX, again, 5th of December weekly level, which is what held and started the rally, looking like it's going to start trending up, potentially a test this weekly level up here at $21. And then BNB, very similar to ADA, up into this weekly range high level resistance. A break above this would be quite significant, same as ADA. Not had weekly closes above their relative weekly levels for a long time, so weekly closes above those could be significant. However, they are resistance until proven otherwise. If we go and take a look at the BTC pairs then, and on the higher time frames, they don't really look like they're ready to start turning around. As you can see, we've had little bounces. We'll flick through on the weekly and then go through on the monthly, but I mean, the near bounce has already been completely wiped out. DOT the same, had a little bounce, looked really strong last week, and then it's completely dropped. AVAX, again, very, very weak bounce, already come back down. And BNB, which has been trending down ever since the beginning of the year. If we then go take a look at the monthly timeframes. They look like they've still got a long way to go, or they certainly don't look like they're going to be stopping anytime soon. ADA, near dropping below that little base it formed in December and January. DOT, again, looking like it's just going to keep going lower. AVAX, again, broken that base it formed in December and January. And then BNB, as I say, since the beginning of the year, so end November was where it had its blow off top, and now falling further down. So as we warned on Friday, I'll link the video at the end if you haven't seen it already, to learn the relationship that you want to see between ETH and BTC if you want to see alt season. We haven't got it. BTC still leading the market, and actually Bitcoin, since starting this video, has come down a little bit. As you can see, we had this spike up to about 30.5k and now come back down, and ETH not looking too great either. You can actually see on the 1 hour time frames, as Bitcoin has been trending up ever since yesterday, the past couple of days. Even with this recent spike, it's still trading quite high, whereas ETH is actually starting to form a downtrend on those lower time frames. So you see that relationship. ETH definitely weaker than BTC at the moment, so still BTC led. Let's see what happens with the big events tomorrow: CPI, FOMC minutes, and then the earnings on Friday. Could be a volatile week, and we'll join you again on Friday, go over the events of the week, and see what impacts they've had. Of course, you've got the ETH Shanghai update as well. So, yeah, could be a very volatile week. Look forward to rounding it all up on Friday. So, have a good week, and we'll see you then.